Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this absolutely gorgeous and stunning 2021 Mercedes Benz GLC 300. Now, I really love the GLC 300. It's a compact SUV. It's not the smallest SUV that Mercedes Benz makes, but it fills a sweet spot, and Mercedes sells tons of these things, tons of these. It's a 5-seater vehicle that's packed with luxury, safety, convenience, all kinds of features that you would expect out of a Mercedes Benz. And in this video, we're going to take a look at all those things. Before we start, I want to say a huge thank you to Shine Shop Automotive in Greensboro, North Carolina, for the opportunity to film this beautiful GLC 300. I'll be sure to leave all of Shine Shop Automotive's contact information and their website in the description box below. I like the lines on the outside. It's actually a very simple car. You know, one of the things that manufacturers are trying to do now are be like super athletic with all of their lines and cutouts and body panels with great big shoulders and ridges and everything. The GLC keeps it nice and simple. I like the line that you see under the door handles that goes from the front fender all the way to the back door, a nice clean line. Then you've got another line that goes from the very back bumper all the way down the bottom rocker panels of the vehicle, and that's pretty much it. Up above, you're going to see a nice panoramic sunroof. That's a nice touch there. I love that, especially from the view from the inside. When you're sitting in the back seat, you see these two outlets here that look like dual exhaust. The outlets are right there underneath the vehicle, and they don't actually connect to the ports right there. You can see that you've got parking sensors right there, and I like the fact that the parking sensors go all the way around to the edge of the car, and we're going to get into that stuff a little bit later. You're going to also see more parking sensors right up front in that front bumper, and again, they wrap around the side, so you've got one there, another one by that garnish right there, and then another two right up front. The daytime running lights are really cool. It's nice how they surround the entire headlight. You can see those are obviously LED daytime running lights, and then you got a little simple orange LED right there on the side that's just showing up nicely, that accents the side of the vehicle. But isn't that really nice? And I like how the headlights are. You can see it's like a 3-tiered, and I'll cut these on in just a second, but that would be way too bright for the camera. But you can see there's like 1, 2, 3 at all these different levels. That's just a really cool look. I like that. Let's go around to the back. And the back is a very, very distinct design. It's like they're circles, and then you know how they wrap around the side. Another thing that I like about the Mercedes GLC is the fact that the lights, the housings for the lights, aren't these massive pieces that take up a huge chunk of the rear quarter panels. It's a real simple design, wraps around the vehicle. That's nice, so that you can actually see from the side of the vehicle the lights. Isn't that nice? You want to see something really cool that has to do with the rear lights? When you take this switch and you turn it all the way to the left, all the way, it stops right there. And let me show you what happens when it stops right there. You can see that the left light is the only one that's illuminated. And the reason for that is if you're parking at night in a place and it's a tight street, then you can turn it all the way to the left, and you'll let people know that your car is actually there. So if the curb were right here and this is the street, then you're going to want to illuminate this one to let people know that that's where the edge of your car is. And then you can do it, you can turn it up a click, and you can see now the right one is illuminated. Isn't that cool? I love that design. Again, that's a European thing. And now we can see the headlights. And you can see how they're lit up. That's nice and beautiful. I love how clean that looks. That is so cool looking. And we can see the back now, fully illuminated. And it looks exactly the same as it did when I had just the parking lights on. I really like how this key is. It feels really solid in your hand. There are some cars that I review where the key, even when it's brand new, it feels flimsy. This one feels really solid, and I think that has to do with the support that these metallic looking pieces on the side give it. You can see at the top is the lock button. Down below the Mercedes Benz symbol is the unlock button. This is your panic alarm. And then here is the button for your power rear door. Now, of course, whenever you hit the lock button, it locks it up. The lights blink to let you know that it is locked up, and the side mirrors will fold in. Then, of course, when you hit the unlock button, it unlocks the doors. And I like how this one is set to unlock all 4 doors with hitting the unlock button just one time. I'm gonna press and hold the rear door release button, and I like that. I like how it comes up quickly. There are some vehicles where the light just takes the back door takes forever to come up, but this one's nice. One nice little touch is this red light here. That's really neat, because if you're accessing the rear of your Mercedes Benz and your door is up, then that red light lets traffic behind you know that something is going on, and it's kind of like a warning light. Another nice thing that I like about the rear is you can see that there's lights inside right here and right there. A lot of manufacturers only have one light, and it's like way low down in there. This one, they're situated up high so that it gives you a really nice ability to see everything in the back of the vehicle. You notice that you have a 40-20-40 split seat there, and that's foldable and configurable so that you can fold certain portions of it. Like if you still have a rear passenger, but you need to carry something large, then you can fold that down in a certain configuration to accommodate your rear passenger and still carry the long item that you have. Nice little tonneau cover right here, and it feels really solid. You can just pull that and lock it up into place to conceal anything that's in the back there. Now, one of the disadvantages of those lights being up high is that whenever that tonneau cover is in place, it completely eliminates light being down in there, but that's okay, because whenever you're accessing this stuff, you're gonna wanna move the tonneau cover anyways. That tonneau cover is removable. You have a panel down here, and you can just push this, and it reveals your spare tire area. Got additional storage, little nooks and crannies that you can keep things in. You also notice that you've got a little switch right here, and whenever you do that, it folds that seat down. That is so fantastic. I love how you can fold that down. Watch this right here. So I'm gonna pull the switch, and that thing plays no games with folding down. Isn't that nice? Looks good. I like it. I like it a lot. And then to fold these back up, it's actually pretty easy. That was actually really easy. My goodness, that thing is light. Look at this, one finger. Really nice. Back seat is super luxurious. You'll notice that the back seat is perforated. The back seats are not heated or ventilated or anything like the front seats, but they are perforated simply to match the front seats. You can see here, this says ISOFIX, and I get questions about that every once in a while. That's simply the standard by which auto manufacturers have to abide by whenever they're making latch points for child safety seats. So this is where a child safety seat is going to plug into, okay? And you've got one right there, and then another two right there. Nice little center armrest with a couple of cup holders here. And then you can take this and push that up. I like the cup holders, that's nice. It almost looks like a little face. See the mouth, nose, couple of eyes. Isn't that cute? I love that. I love the well lighting right there. That is so nice. And this sounds weird, but when you open the rear door, it actually makes it feel more open in your footwell. So you can see down here you've got lighting, and that's actually going to be nice for when you're trying to clean it out and vacuum it. It'll help you see all these French fries down in the down in the little cubbies and nooks and crannies down there. Nice wood panel look right here, and that actually is textured. I like that feel. This is a hard plastic. That's okay. It's not a soft touch, but you know, soft touch stuff right now is all the rage in the car industry today. I love all of the satin finish on the door handle, your satin finish on your window operation right there. The rear windows are nice and tinted. That's a good look. And then I opened the rear hatch just a second ago with the key fob. And so what we're going to do now is do that to close it. You can also close it remotely with your key fob as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press lock on the controller. And you can see that now the door is locked. And so now what we're going to do is unlock it, and all I have to do to unlock it is to approach the vehicle and grab the door handle, and that is set to unlock all the doors. So now all 4 doors are unlocked. And here's one of the things I really like about Mercedes Benz remote system is that you can see this little panel right there here, the little part that's indented, and you've got the same on the rear door. Well, that's really nice because you can use the key fob on both front and rear doors. That's really nice. It allows you to be able to lock the door here. You can just touch it and it locks the door and it folds in the side mirrors. That's a nice touch to put access to a smart access system on all 4 door handles. Really nice. Now the inside of the GLC is where this thing really shines. I love the fact that it's a small, kind of a compact luxury SUV, but it really focuses on the fact that it is a luxury SUV. You can see that you've got like a wood trim here on the inside panel of the driver door. That's really nice. And then right here are your seat controls, and that's going to be for your driver's seat. And look how many things that you can adjust all right there. And I love Mercedes-Benz has had this design for a long time to where you can change all or adjust all of the different settings or positionings on the seats by touching a certain part of a seat design right here. And that's just so cool. One of the things that I really love about it is the seat cushion extender, and that's right here. So whenever you push this forward, it moves this portion of the seat. Check this out. I'm pushing that forward right now. And that is such a relief on a long trip to give you under leg support, especially for taller drivers. Then you can see over a little lower on the driver's door is your panel for all of your power features. So that's your power windows and then your side mirrors all right there. And as you saw in the introduction, it does have the power folding mirrors. There's your control for your lock and unlock. The positioning there is kind of funny right here with the door handle, but hey, I guess that's just as good a place to put it as any. Then you have a little switch down here, and that's for your power rear door. And here we're taking a look at the light switch. And so whenever it's positioned in the straight up and down position right there, that means that the lights are going to cut on automatically at night. This is going to be for your gauge brightness. So when you roll that up and down, it's going to adjust the gauge brightness for your gauges. And then here are your fog lights. And then one step down from your light switches is going to be the switch for your parking brake. That's right there. The dash on this thing is absolutely beautiful. And it's so customizable and configurable. The steering wheel is really good looking. And that center console, I love how you have the 3 outlets right there. And then your screen directly above that. And I've reviewed cars recently where the screen has actually come up well above the dash, so that when you're looking out, the screen actually gets in the way of your view a little bit. This one, it is totally level or even with the level of the dash, so that it does not get in your way at all. In fact, Mercedes-Benz says, do not let the system distract you from the traffic situation. I love that. And they're doing their part by keeping it low. I love the muted wood accent right there. That's such a nice look. This pad is really, really cool. It allows you to do a ton of things. So let's take a look at that. As long as the key fob is on your person, all you need to do is put your foot on the brake to start the Mercedes Benz, and it fires right up. I'm going to turn the volume down here, and look at that ambient lighting. How fantastic is that? God, that is so beautiful. Look, it's just everywhere. I love that. It's even in the back seat. And look, we're gonna warm things up a bit. And look, I just pressed heat. So watch this. I'm pressing up on the driver's side heat right now. And now I'm pressing down on the passenger side cool. Now I'm pressing up. So it shows you what it's doing in a color-coded way. On the steering wheel here over on the left side is going to be your cruise control on the very bottom. And then you can see over here on the top is a back arrow, a square button, and a home button. Those are such cool features because this allows you to navigate inside of this, and it's a touchscreen system. And so when I press home, I can hit home, and then I can move left and right to navigate all the different functions that I want to access here. Trip, navigation, radio, media, and then I can use this back arrow to get back. Over on the right side is kind of the same function. You can see that it looks like it repeats. It looks redundant, but that's not the case. The left side is for the gauge cluster, and the right side is for that beautiful display up there. So on the right side, you have basically the same function to where you can use this as a kind of like a keypad to go back and forth, up and down. And so that is what is there. And when you press the home button, it takes you right to your home screen. And then I'm going to use this keypad to navigate. So I'm pushing it left and right. And then you've got all kinds of different things here. So when you go to settings, you can go to all kinds of designs and display. I love that word, linguatronic. That's such a cool word. And so then your designs and display, that allows you to customize what your how your gauges look. So I can press classic and it looks all blue and everything. I can go down to sport and you can see it's changing it to where it looks orange, or yellow, progressive, nice and sporty. And then you have ambient lighting adjustment, and that's that beautiful ambient lighting I was telling you about before. I'm going to go back up here to classic. There we go. And so now that's going to memorize that. And so you've got all kinds of adjustments that you can make for your lighting system, vehicle adjustments, dynamic select, easy entry and exit. I love this, acoustic lock. One of the things I pointed out on the outside is the fact that you can lock the doors and the car doesn't make any sounds. It doesn't beep or anything. It's just the lights. Well, that's what that is right there. It makes it so that if that's on, there will be a beeping sound. Automatic door lock, automatic folding mirrors. And I love the graphics. It's so neat. Everything is very, very clean. That is so cool. So the way to quickly get out of this is just to hit the back arrow. And then I can go here, Mercedes and Me apps, and this is all going to be things that are free for a certain time, but then you subscribe to after a certain amount of time as well. Info, trip information, engine consumption, and then look at there, operator's manual. I was wondering why there was no owner's manual in this, and well, it's because it's on board and internal. And then you have comfort. So cool. You can adjust the color of the lighting. All kinds of lighting, a color affects all colors of the rainbow right there. You can make it inside of your vehicle. You can then adjust the brightness of the ambient lighting in the vehicle from the front to the back. Brightness zones. You can control different lighting levels by a percentage standpoint. So 20%, 30%, 100%. Radio operation, it's all right there. And then you've got voice commands right there. So all you got to do is say, "Hey Mercedes."
How may I help you?
And you have a little star right here. And when you toggle that down, when you push this toggle down, you can see what comes up. And then you can use this little square here to navigate inside of that. I love that. So this is actually going to be your favorites menu. That's why there's a star there. And so you can put certain configurations, certain things, settings that you want to configure and that you want to have at the ready for quick access, all right there on that star menu. And then you have your climate system settings right here. You can see over on the far left is temperature. To the right of that is direction, fan mode, fan speed, manually, auto. Auto makes it so that it will keep the cabin automatically adjusted at whatever temperature you decide. Max defrost, that's right there. That's a nice feature to use when it's cold and the windows are frosty. And then over to the far right of that is going to be rear defrost, sync. That's when you're in the vehicle by yourself and you want one temperature in the cabin. Recirculate is to the right of that. That's the icon of the little vehicle there. AC, and then passenger side climate control. You got a little strip of buttons right here as well. This is going to be back to your favorites that we kind of saw that on the steering wheel there. Hazard lights. And then whenever you press this button right here, this comes up on the screen, and that's like a quick access menu again. And then you're going to be able to control navigation in this screen with this square button again. And so I can flick it left and right. That is just a really, really nice system. By the way, it's also touch screen. So you don't have to use the navigation on the steering wheel itself in case you don't like that. You can either touch screen or you can use this keypad down here. It's got haptic feedback inside of that, listen. So you can feel it. And so that you can see then whenever I navigate with the pad down here, see that? That's super nice. And you also have the back button and the home button on this pad as well. And now I'm going to press dynamic. So I just push that down. You can either push it down or up to access this menu. It says Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. So these are obviously going to adjust throttle mapping, transmission shifting, things like that in order to give it a more sporty feel if you're in Sport Plus, and then Sport right there, Comfort. And I really like the panel on the far right side. You can see it says Eco, Comfort, ESP. And so that tells you what it's going to adjust according to each mode that you're in. Traction control off is there on the far right. And then this is such a cool feature. This feature with the P and the little camera icon helps you find parking spaces. Look at that. So it uses the camera system on the outside to help locate parking spaces for you. You can see here on the right side, to engage the transmission, this is the stalk that you're going to use. Whenever the vehicle is running, and right now it's in park, you can see that because it's highlighted P right there on the dash. So whenever you want to put it in reverse, you just simply move this up and you're going to see your backup camera right there. And so you know you're in reverse now, and then you can switch it down and that's in drive. So now the vehicle is ready to drive. And then whenever you want to put it back in park, all you do is push the end of that stalk and you can feel the parking brake engage and you're good to go. I just cut the car off and look at the footwell. Isn't that nice how it's fully lit up right there? I actually like that. You don't really see that in that many cars. Mercedes has done an incredible job with lighting. I know that sounds kind of silly, but lighting is an important aspect inside of a vehicle because you want to feel like you can see everything and access everything. And it also adds a really nice, luxurious touch to the cabin of a vehicle. And it's really inexpensive to do. What a cool thing. Thanks, Mercedes. Okay, everybody, that's going to wrap up our view of the 2021 Mercedes Benz GLC 300. I really like this vehicle. It's going to be a great vehicle to drive, lots and lots of fun, lots of luxurious touches, and it's really easy to operate. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Shine Shop in Greensboro, North Carolina again for the opportunity to film this vehicle. Check them out in the description box below. But remember, the most important thing, everybody, have a wonderful day.